so we can get started and keep everybody on time. So welcome to our June letting seminar. Again, for those of you who may be the first time, our purpose here is to gather together anyone who may be interested in bidding in next Friday's letting, whether you're prime contractor or DBE, and you can use this forum for any resources that you may need. If you're a DBE, any assistance with estimating and submitting your bid, and if you're a prime contractor and you need bids on a particular work type, then we've got all the supportive services on the call, and hopefully we can help you get bids that you need to maybe on a job that you're bidding. So we'll talk about some of those as we go through. So I'll stop rambling and jump right in. First, on our next slide, you can see that we'll agenda, and we're not going to keep you more than an hour because we know it is work season. We'll go through the supportive services just to make sure that you know who to contact. If you do have a follow-on, we'll introduce everybody. We'll talk about some letting information and some jobs that we pulled out to highlight for this month's letting. Our guest prime contractor is Shaun Stapleton. We thank him for coming on. He works with John G. Walton, so he'll talk to you for a few minutes, and then we'll talk about some upcoming events going forward. And then we'll have a question section there as well to answer any specific questions that you may have. Next slide, the supportive services. You can see there, Ms. Walter Carr is our DBE contract manager at ALDOT in the DBE. You work with her, and Ms. Michelle Moore. I know Ms. Carr had a conflict for today. I don't know if Ms. Moore was able to join in, but that's their contact information. You'll be able to either email them, or you can go through your supportive services as well. So the Mentor-Protégé Program team, I'm the director. Ms. Ondoxon, you'll hear from her a little bit later as she goes over the letting projects. Mr. Taylor, who is also on our project team, he is also on the line and available. And Ms. Lewis, who we've been fortunate to have on our program to organize our letting and have all the technical background, as well as being able to provide business process assistance for our DBEs as well. So that's our team. Next slide, it talks about the other supportive services that we work with, and they are on the line as well. Let's see, so from A&M we had, I think Danielle was on the line, and Ms. Sterling was on the line.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Danielle. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. And hopefully everybody stays safe in the weather. I'm Danielle Barnes, as Dr. Golston said. We also have Ms. Natoya Sterling on the line. We represent DBE Supportive Services for the northern tier of the state. We're happy to help in any way we can.
So if there's any DBEs or prime contractors in the northern tier, you can contact Ms. Barnes there for any support that you might need. Thanks, Danielle. Thanks, Ms. Sterling. Also in that group, they have Claude Douglas, who can help with estimating. So feel free to reach out to them if you need that kind of support. We have on the line also EE Network Solutions, Mike Self. I saw Ms. Cynthia Matlock on the line. I think, Cynthia, you're in the central region, so any DBEs or prime contractors from the central region, you can contact Ms. Matlock and Mr. Self for support.
Yes, that's correct. Central region. We have 22 counties that we cover with over 150 DBEs at the present time.
Okay, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. And then finally, we have UWA and Ms. Donna Mills and Ms. Sherry Stoudemire. I think I saw them on the line. Good morning. So if you're in the, I think that's the Southwest region or South region there, you would contact Mr. Mills if you're a prime or DB that needs support in that area. So we work together and collectively to make sure that the DBEs and prime contractors have the support they need from an ALDOT standpoint. So I will now turn it over to Ms. Undoxson, and she'll talk about some of the particular jobs in this month's letting.
Good morning, everybody. If my audio goes out, I have my phone ready. Sometimes my computer audio does not want to cooperate. This morning, we're going to cover 6 projects. This letting for June 25th was a little bit shorter than some of the lettings normally are. There were not a lot of projects that had DBE goals, but we are going to highlight 6 that I think our DBEs will be interested in. Next slide. Our first project, Project 16 is Chambers County. There's a 4% DBE goal. You see the bracket estimate there, about $2.7 to $3.3 million. The work types that a lot of our DBEs perform, and that the prime sub, there's demolition on this, erosion control, hauling. There is concrete on this project. So if we have any concrete DBEs, this one would be a good project to look at. There's junction boxes, inlets, curb and gutter, lots of things that you could perform on this. The tentative bidders you see, Chris Clark Grading and Paving and East Alabama Paving Company. So we encourage you to reach out to those primes if you're interested in this project. The next project, Project 19, is in Marengo County. It has a 3% DBE goal. Even with the lower 3% goal, this bracket estimate is pretty healthy, 7.3 to almost $9 million. Work types on this one, there's demolition, there's hauling, there's also bituminous scoring on this project. I know we have a DBE that does that. Steel reinforcement, we have a couple of DBEs that perform that work. There's concrete on this project also, and there's erosion control. So there are several work types on this, and I would encourage our DBEs to look at this project. Lots of tentative bidders, as with most of the bridge projects that we see. The Bridge Builders of Alabama, Newell and Bush, Mitchell's Contracting, Murphy, Icaros, Winston, W.S. Newell, McInnes, and Wright Brothers. Our third project is 22 in Chilton County. There's also a 3% DBE goal on this project. It's a little bit smaller. And even though it has that DBE goal, there are not a lot of work types. This is pretty much a straight just resurfacing project, but there is hauling on this project. Your tentative bidders are there, Dunn Construction, Asphalt Contractors, and Wiregrass. Next project is 23 in Hale County. There's this is a small DBE goal, 1%. It's a fairly small project, but I did include it because it does have a goal on it. There's hauling, bituminous scoring, and erosion control on this one. Your tentative bidders are ST Bunn, Asphalt Contractors, and Mid-South Paving. Our next project, 35, is Elmore County. There's a 2% DBE goal on this. This is a small project, but this project is one of the few that has electrical in it. So if there are any of our DBE electrical contractors, this might be one that you might want to look at, that you could perform some work on. Bidders are Mid-South, Wiregrass, and McElhaney. Project 37 is Marshall County. This has a 2% DBE goal. Bracket estimate, a little over $500,000. This project has demolition, hauling. It does have some concrete in it and has erosion control. Right now, there's only one tentative bidder, and that's Wiregrass Construction. And this is in the North region of the state. And that was my last project. That went quick. Our guest prime contractor today is Shaun Stapleton with John G. Walton. We are very happy to have him with us. He is a project manager and an estimator. So I'm going to turn it over to him now.
Hi, how are y'all doing today?
Doing good.
I think Christine said there's a couple things
Hey, what's up?
that y'all talk about. I don't unless there's some anything specific y'all want to discuss.
Okay. That's a typical electrical depth.
Shaun, did you just want to open it up for questions?
Yeah, we can open it up to questions. I'll help out any way I can. I wasn't sure how y'all wanted me to handle it.
Okay. Well, I'll start off with a couple of questions, and then hopefully some of our DBEs will jump in. We have a bonding class coming up for our DBEs. Do you guys?
Veronica,
Yes.
let me just say, if everybody could mute their microphone, if they're not talking, we got some background noise.
Okay.
I think that's
Christine, if you could just mute everybody, and then when you want to talk, just unmute yourself.
Yep. Okay. I think we're quiet. Shaun, as I was saying, we have a bonding class that we have some of our DBEs in right now to either improve their bonding, or those that don't have bonding, help them to achieve that. Do you guys require all of your subs to be bonded? I know at one time the practice kind of in this industry was sometimes the prime contractors would carry their subcontractors on their bonds, but I understand that practice is kind of going away. So would you talk a little bit about that? Yes,
ma'am. Our policy in-house is you get to about $200,000 to $300,000 in work, and it's something that we could not perform if something were to happen to that sub. We would bond them if it was like a $200,000 or $300,000, say like a retaining wall, something, a specialty item. We're going to bond them. Our bonding company typically wants us to bond somebody that's over $500,000. That way, that just kind of gives them some security behind, for them. A lot of times, if we're a prime and we have a bridge builder, we'll bond the bridge builder, because that's something we don't do. We can't pull a staff together and say finish it if it was at a point that almost done, but they couldn't. The subcontractor, the bridge guy, could not do the rest of it. It's kind of take it job by job, and what the scope of work is that's performing. Typically, I will say erosion control. I'm not gonna probably bond an erosion control person, because if something were to happen, erosion control sub, if something were to happen, we could pick up and put the pieces together to get silt fence out, or get side out, or get wattles out. So like I say, it's a job by job basis. We, myself and the VP and our owner, Mr. Walton, we sit down and we discuss it as we're putting the finishing touches on our bids.
Hey, Shaun, this is Donald Taylor. How you doing?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I got a quick question for you. You and I have talked about this before, but I'd like to bring this to the table where some of the other DBs on the line. Can you walk us through, if you're a new subcontractor or DBE wanting to do business with you guys, that process, and then also how do you go about choosing who you're going to use from an estimation standpoint as far as the bid itself is concerned, and validating whether or not you think that number is good and so forth? Can you walk us through that process, please?
What was the first part? There was like some static or some background noise on the first part. I didn't understand.
Can you walk us through, as if you're a new subcontractor? There is someone that has a whole lot of static. I don't know who that is. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I think it's okay. So can you walk us through if you're a new subcontractor or a new DB that's never done business with you guys before, can you walk us through that process? And then also, once you receive a quote or something like that from one of those subs or DBEs, since you are an estimator, how you go about validating whether it's a good estimate versus a not, and whether or not you're going to use that?
If we get quotes from somebody new, a lot of times, Leah reach out if I've never heard of them, and just try to reach out and have a conversation, and see what past work they have. Then I also look at if they're sent a quote in, look at their prices and see where their prices stand comparative, or just I'll glance and just look at different prices. If I look at it and see that, hey, I know I can't do it for this price, try to hey, y'all need to take a second look at this, because I don't want to put myself in a bind if something were to happen. I want to be able to do it for that the prices that are in it, and not essentially lose money. I want to be able to cover myself, and I want to be comfortable that knowing that person can perform that work. Does that help, or did I miss something in your question?
No, that helps a lot. The reason I was asking, because we do have some DBEs that want to do business with you guys, and I haven't done any business with you guys before. And one of the suggestions, of course, I made is for them to introduce themselves to you and send you guys information on them. But also, just understand that process of how you guys go through, doing business with someone you've never done business with before, especially a small sub or a DBE.
Yes, sir. I mean, just knowing some work history on them, it helps out to know that they can perform that work. It might be something that they may get a smaller job, and kind of maybe like a $500,000 job like they had on the presentation before. Something that's got $40,000 with the erosion control. See how they do, and how responsive they are to getting it done. And I know labor shortage is an issue right now, and everybody's struggling with it. We are ourselves, but you want to just make sure before you hand them over, say, a $500,000 erosion control contract, that they can do some of the smaller stuff leading up to that.
I have a question for you, Shaun.
Yes, sir.
This is Jerry Gaiman with G&H Systems in Atmore. We're a low voltage general contractor, and our primary work, matter of fact, 100% of our work has been for Mullen Tribe, the Porch Bandit Creek Indians, as we built the casinos throughout the course of history since 2007. Now I'm looking to move outside the tribe and work as a low voltage general contractor. Though I'm bonded and we do multi-million-dollar projects, how do I move into your world and find things inside your company that deal with the expertise that we offer? And that would be everything from fiber and structured cabling to fire alarm, controlled access, surveillance, audio distribution, as well as digital distribution, video distribution. How do I get there on a project that you may have?
I'll say this. From what it sounds, that's more vertical. I mean, you typically vertical. We do mostly road work. I don't know if I have anything that would right offhand that I'd have that would pertain to that scope of work.
Okay, I'm aware that that is a challenge. Now I'm trying to find out, as a DBE, a new DBE in the state of Alabama, how companies like you, I need to get in front of and make presentation. And when you have a project that may have some of that scope of work, we would be an option.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of it, send me send me your contact information so I have it for stuff that comes up. I mean, a lot of that, if there's something specialty, I have to go out and search.
Okay.
I had a job here recently with ALDOT in Mobile County. It was a 158 job by the Saraland High School, and we had to go out and find a specialty contractor for geopiers. and I've never had a job that had geo-peers in it. So, you know, I had to, you know, one, search the spec book, two, you know, just try to do some homework and find out who would be approved contractor to do that work. So it's a job by job basis for me, and trying to locate, you know, those subs, because for our work, I mean, it's pretty general. The subs we use are, I mean, the same scopes, the same subs quote the work and are pay attention to the letting month to month. And then, you know, any local municipality work that we do, I try to send out invites to everybody that has, you know, is in that scope of work. You know, I'll break it down from supply vendors like rock or pipe, etc., to, you know, subs, concrete, maybe whether it's got electrical in it, milling, you name it. You go erosion, you go through the list. I just got to go, you know, line by line through my bid, you know, pay item sheet, and I just kind of break it out and write myself out a list.
Okay, so the best way to get that is just by email to you?
For me, send me an email just so I have your contact, you know, so I know what you have, and then scope of work you're performing, planning to perform. That way, when I have something come up, I can hit you up. And I've gotten where I put people on my phone and I make notes in my contacts and say, hey, this guy's a retaining wall. Hey, this guy's electrical. So when something comes up, I go search my contacts in my phone and be like, oh, hey, I had this conversation at some point with this guy. Let me call him. That's an easy way for me to keep track, because you put contacts in your phone and their business, and it's hard to remember, hey, what was that? What did that guy do?
Sure. Great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
I have one more, Dr. Golson, for Shaun. Shaun, can you talk a little bit about the work that's going on down there now in the Mobile area, and if whether or not there's any gaps from a subcontractor perspective, like is there a need for certain type services?
Right now, I don't know of any. You said gaps for services. Is that correct?
Yes, like trucking, hauling, or something like that, or.
I mean, right now, I mean, I don't know of any particular stands out in my head at this moment. Say this: I'd love if there was a DB striper at times. I'd love if I've had a DB guy, electrical guy, does loop wire. That'd help me out on a lot of jobs. But that's I hadn't found those people yet. Work-wise, it was slow first quarter down here, and it's picked up a little bit. But like I said, trying to think of gaps. I don't have anything in particular right off the top of my head. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, no problem.
How, if I may, I'll ask questions all day because business is business and knowledge is power. Do you have a pay application process that you work with on your subs that you go through, or how is that handled inside John G. Walton?
Pay apps, ours are, quantities. We get paid quantities by the city, county, state. Those are due to us from whichever state or municipality. We get those the first week usually of the month. Review those, get with subs, make sure the quantities that they're paying are agreed upon for those subs. If once everybody agrees, we'll tell say the state, all right, everything's good. Process that application. Once that's processed, it's usually 2 to 3 weeks on payment. Usually by the end of the month, we'll get paid by the state, and then we turn around and we have Excel spreadsheets for each job, and then the sub, or each sub under each job, and their subcontract is broken out with all the pay items, and we, just as we've been paid those quantities, we pay that sub those quantities that they performed. And Mr. Johnny Walton's usually very good about, hey, I've got a check in here, y'all get y'all sub estimates together, and let's get these subs paid. So usually within 3 to 5 days, we've got checks going out to subs. So, it's very quick and not dragging it out, because I know, we want to get paid quick, and we know the subs want to get paid quick.
Okay. Well, I know that oftentimes subcontracting can be a challenge because of the pay process, and you can get strung out for a while. If you know what's expected, then you know how to plan.
Yes, sir. I know on the vertical side, I was in vertical construction one time. That can be strung out very long. I think our only job that gets strung out the most is our work with the airport authority.
Okay.
That one can be 60 days, depending on how quick the airport authority gets their ducks in a row and gets it processed.
Good point.
All right, any other questions for Shaun?
I will be more than happy to talk. So shut me up when I need to.
Well, I think, Jerry, who's your supportive service provider? What area are you in?
We serve the Southeast, so I cover the Panhandle and all the way to Huntsville.
So you may want to reach out to a supportive service provider as well.
Yes. Dr. Golston, he's in our coverage area.
Okay. UWA. So you might want to reach out to UWA because we can provide you some support as well. Not that you can't ask any more questions, but I'm just saying make sure that you're taking advantage of that provider in your area as well.
Cherie does a fabulous job, by the way. She takes care of me.
I know she paid you to say that.
Well, I still owe her lunch and she hadn't come yet. So, okay.
You're wrong, Dr. Golston. Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah.
My question, Shaun, would be this. Do you have set aside goals inside your company that have DBEs do certain percentages of work? I'm a low voltage general contractor. What if I had subcontractors in my purview to do things that you need? Is that doable, or you call that a shell company?
Talking about pretty much some DBs or like work through you?
Yes.
I mean,
trying to meet your goal is what I'm going after.
Yeah, I mean, we're not opposed to it as long as, it all depends, really depends on, like, say, ALDOT, you gotta watch how things, you've got to, it's a payroll, everything with ALDOT certified payroll. So long as everything payroll wise works out, I think, it's all good. But, if it's, I guess you can't really just do too much pass through. I think you've got to handle it appropriately.
So I guess that's the question then, is how much performance do I have to do as a company? Do I have to do 10%, 15%? Do you require 30% performance?
I'd have to look on, see if there's a structure in the DOT specs on that. I'm not 100% on that one.
All right, good enough. Thank you.
That one properly.
All right.
All right, we'll keep it moving a little bit. Shaun, if you stay on, we'll ask again at the end if there are any questions. We appreciate there. Before we go to the next thing there, Christine, I know we had Mr. Leverett on the line. I wanted to see if Mr. Leverett had any comments or give him an opportunity if he did.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have anything in particular. It's a good conversation. I would mention as far as questions about the types of work available and so forth, We do on our ALDOT website. The project letting information is available, so you can see what's in the letting. You can see the items of work, and you can see the tentative bidders as well. So that's an avenue you can check out our website to be able to make some of those contacts. Trying to think of what else we were talking about, but that was the main thing I would say, is take advantage of our website as well as the supportive services.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We were, hopefully we would have more DBEs, especially in the Montgomery area, but we can imagine that they're working. So we're recording this, so we'll send it out to all the DBEs so they have opportunity to take advantage of the information we're sharing here. So I'm gonna stop rambling now and let Christine keep us on track.
Okay.
If I may ask a quick question, how often is the bid letting posted on the website?
Monthly. Normally it's monthly.
If you refer back to that
Usually
email that I sent you last week or the week before, I tried to lay all that stuff out for you in that email. That information is there, and I think I included some web links. I can send that again after the seminar.
It was my assumption once a month, but I wanted to make sure.
Okay. Are we ready to move on? All right, I'm just going to get started. If you're a contractor in any type of construction, you already know that there's a serious labor shortage. Shaun mentioned it as well. One of the bottom line results is that contractors are at capacity on projects. They're turning down work. They're not bidding on projects because they can't meet the workforce requirements. This is not news to anybody. Over 80% of construction firms have trouble filling positions, both hourly and salary, according to AGC, and more than 2/3 say labor shortages are their biggest challenge right now and in the future. This has been going on for years, but the COVID crisis has added another layer of difficulty to all that. And we all know there's no quick fix. But I wanted to chime in today with just a few resources for filling some of the gaps in your workforce. Just things that I've run across. So they're a major player in the staffing world. They have a construction segment on their platform. It's not cheap, but it's an option. They have different products and pricing models depending on if you want to post a job or search their database of resumes, construction specific resumes. So obviously you'd use this for level positions. Roadtex.com offers a less expensive alternative, and it really is a different kind of job board. You see there on the screen, it's run by workers for workers. Their website is a bit messy and chaotic, but it's there where you'll find the entryway to posting a job, and it's $100. I'm not sure what the fine print says on how long that posting is up, but I do like the stat here on their LinkedIn page that says they had over 12,000 searches from people looking for jobs as a crane operator. The create a job alert on their LinkedIn page is where job seekers set up notifications when a job title, for instance, a crane operator, when a job posting comes out in their preferred region. The National Association of Women in Construction also offers several products and pricing models. What I've got on the screen now is only their top 3 packages. They have all sorts of customization features for different needs and budgets. I know some of you here are members of NAWIC, which means a cost saving for you. So check them out. And then this last slide, I'm hoping we can get a representative to come talk with us virtually about the different ways your local career centers can help. What you're looking at right now are one page of a 2-page brochure about 2 on-the-job training programs, the new hire OJT and the performance-based OJT, to help funnel some skilled labor into the industry. And the map provides some regional contacts to learn more about that and what other employer services might be available to your firm with regard to hiring and training. And that's all I have for you right now. You'll find some hyperlinks to all of these resources, plus the ones I didn't talk about, like helmets to hard hats, diversity jobs, and recruit military. So you can check those out for yourself. That's it. Events, I'm going to invite DBE Supportive Services to talk about any events they have coming up, but I wanted to mention that we did a bonding and insurance workshop in May, and it's only available on YouTube until June 30th. So there's a link to it. It's 90 minutes, and there's a lot of good information there about risk management and how those folks are really a consultant to you as you try to grow your business. And then later this month, we have the ALDOT Specs and Regs workshop coming up. There's a link to register for that. And of course, a link to register for next month's letting seminar, which we tentatively have for July 23rd, but I'm not sure we're set in stone on that, but we'll make an announcement when we get there. So that's all I've got. In the DBE Supportive Services announcements. Okay. Dr. Golston, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Christine. Thanks, everybody, for joining in. Shaun, we really appreciate you taking the time to come and share that information with us. We think that was really beneficial. So we just wanted to make sure we showed our appreciation. Thank you. And when Donald's back down in Mobile, make sure Donald takes you out to lunch when he's back down there.
All right, I'll hit him up for it.
All right. And just like I always say at the end, this is really just the beginning for DBEs in that process. So now is where you would reach out to your supportive services on that list if you need help and setting up your processes. That's what we're here for. So please feel free to reach out to us so we can help you start submitting bids and hopefully one day start winning work. So thanks again for everybody. Thanks for supportive services. Mr. Lever, thanks for joining in. We're going to record this and send it out to our other DBEs, or we have recorded it. And then we'll see you here next month, if not before.
Thank you very much. We always appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Stanley, for joining in.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.